As if we didn't already have a major intense moment of transformation with the Scorpio full moon on Friday of last week, we are stepping this week into a transformative period that's going to last about 5 months with Pluto going retrograde on Wednesday. Hi, I'm Marisa Liz Paz, coach and astrologer, and I'm here to give you the week in astrology for the week of May the 4th, 2026. May the 4th be with you for all my Star Wars fellow fans. And I'm going to do something a little bit different today, which is rather than give you the play-by-play of each day, which you can find in any app, I'm going to give you just a theme for the week with the major event of the week, which is Pluto going retrograde in Aquarius on Wednesday, May 6th. Okay? The week, you're going to start to feel it. And I want you to really understand what it means to have one, a planet go retrograde, two, Pluto in particular going retrograde, and all the themes that it really carries and affects, and how you're going to feel this. And I'm also going to create for you that I will upload on Wednesday of this week, on the day of the retrograde starting, so you can see how this would play out in the house that it falls in your natal chart, in your birth chart. Okay, so we'll start with the configuration and what this all means and the data. Just give me the basics. Okay, so this is Wednesday, May the 6th, 2026. Pluto, the planet of that naturally rules Scorpio in the chart, the planet that is about intensity, about the subconscious mind, diving deep into the things that make you you, but you have no idea that they're there. The deep unconscious, subconscious tendencies, desires, hidden, wounds, fears, and things like that. But it's really more about desire. Okay, so Scorpio is a big sign of desire. Scorpio is about investigation, intimacy, intensity. This planet is going retrograde. What does that mean? Retrogrades are often misunderstood because we're very familiar with Mercury retrograde, and Mercury retrograde, just kind of wreaks a little bit of havoc when it comes to technology, communication, emails gone wrong, maybe your computer's not working, maybe, a little bit of a car accident, something happening. A true meaning of a retrograde, especially when it is for a planet like Pluto, which moves on a generational effect. It moves very slowly, so its effect is really on a generation. Although, if you look at your natal chart, you will be able to see, once you understand the house and the degrees and the sign, where this is going to be touching, depending on the planets, the asteroids, the points, and the angles that it's going to be connecting with, how it will affect you, what's going to activate inside of you. But Pluto retrograde, it means that you're going to go within, okay? That is what a retrograde really does. Let's remember that a retrograde is an optical illusion. It doesn't really happen. What happens is it seems like the planet is moving in a backward state. And so that is a psychological perception thing. And what it is as a purpose, astrologically, is that you want to, rather than move forward, externally, you want to review, aka move backward, or review or reevaluate or take another look at stuff from within. Okay, that is the purpose of a retrograde. And with this Pluto retrograde, we're looking at topics like going into your subconscious mind, going into where you might be touching on things that you're obsessing on, or things that might be controlling you rather than you controlling them. Many different things. Just the facts. Starts on May 6th, Wednesday, 2026. It ends 5 months later on October 16th, 2026. And it's only going to move 2 degrees. That's how slow Pluto moves, okay? So this is Pluto retrograde starting at 5 degrees Aquarius. And it's going to move back slowly within those 5 months to 3 degrees Aquarius. Only 2 degrees. But whatever you have in your natal chart that is anything between, obviously between those 5 and 3 degrees, right? 5 and 3 degrees of Aquarius, making a connection to, obviously anything that is in Aquarius, but also making a challenging connection to Taurus, Leo, or Scorpio. Okay, that's your oppositions and your squares. That's going to feel a little bit challenging. It's going to activate. It's going to ask something of you. And five, anywhere from 5 to 3 degrees, anything you have in your chart that is a planet, an asteroid, an angle, a part that is 5 to 3 degrees, Gemini, Libra, that's going to feel really supportive for a shift, a change, something that needs to move in your life. Okay. And for Aries and Sagittarius, also activation really wants you to step into the energy of action and move something, shift something on a fundamental level. Okay. The orb usually for Pluto is around 2 to 4, maybe 3 degrees at the most. So also anything that you don't just have between 5 degrees to 3 degrees of these signs, but also maybe 8 degrees and maybe, down to like 0 degrees. So anywhere from 0 to 8 degrees is what you're going to be looking for within the next 5 months. Okay. And see where it touches in your chart. Again, I'm going to do a whole video on Pluto by the houses, just like I did Uranus and Gemini by the houses, Pluto and Aquarius retrograding by house. I'll put that up on Wednesday. What I want you to understand is this. If you have something that makes a really close connection, really close aspect in astrological language to what I just mentioned, 3 to 5 degrees, right? Maybe even 1 degree of difference. Okay, maybe the Pluto is starting at 5 degrees of Aquarius. So maybe you have something 6 degrees of, or 6 degrees or 4 degrees of Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio. That's going to feel challenging to you this week. It's going to start to feel intense. It's going to start to feel like it's asking for something to shift at the core of who you are, at the core of the business, at the core of the job, at the core of the relationship, at the core of whatever it is that this event touches in your chart. Okay. Also, you're gonna feel a little bit of an activation, of course, with anything that is 4, 5, or 6 degrees of Gemini and Libra and Aries and Sagittarius. And those are the main ones that are going to feel it really activate and, sort of be able to use this energy for that fundamental shift that you need to make in whatever area of your life this is going to fall. Okay, let's look at the configuration of what this retrograde is going to, what is happening, what's the context of it. It's happening with Mercury, the planet of the mind and the planet of verbal ability in the person. It's also transportation and mechanics and social media and other things. But those are the main things. At 6 degrees Taurus. So this is making a square, a challenging but activating connection to Mercury. So Pluto's going to retrograde and it's going to be doing so with 1 degree difference squaring Mercury and Taurus. And it's going to say, okay, so this mind, this ability I have to communicate and self-express, what in my subconscious mind is actually needing to clear away. This is why I'm calling this week and this whole transit in itself, but this week to begin with, because we just had the full moon in Scorpio. Again, Pluto rules Scorpio. Scorpio full moon back in on Wednesday with Hades. If you saw the video that I posted, it that day on Friday, the full moon, I was I'm not going to say putting out fires. I was supporting and holding space for major transformation for people who are very connected to the Scorpio full moon, people who had rising signs in Scorpio, people who have Scorpio on sun, ascendant, moon, the big three, people who had multiple like stelliums or multiple planets in Scorpio, all were feeling it very strongly. I had to coach a couple of people, actually, and I ended up coaching 4 people on major transformations. And here's the really cool thing about this transit, that similarly to this full moon in Scorpio, which was a bit of a preview for what's going to happen starting Wednesday, and you're probably already feeling it, starting Wednesday on for the next 5 months. The really cool thing is that you have the ability to absolutely tabula rasa, clean slate, clean up anything in your plate that does not serve you anymore. I know we always try to do that, especially with lunations, full moons, new moons, we're planting seeds, full moons, we're clearing out stuff. But this is going to be a period where you're going to be asked to just clear anything out. Now, what are some of these things that are going to be cleared out? Of course, because it's starting with Mercury, 6 degrees Taurus, a challenging aspect. We're looking at the subconscious mind, which is what Pluto rules, and Mercury ruling the mind. What in the subconscious mind wants to get out into the conscious mind and then out verbally, okay? So for your self-expression, for the thing that you want to show in the world about who you are and talk about and say, like I'm doing here, you want to look at what needs to go away. Okay. And this is one of the context or configurations that accompany this Pluto retrograde starting. Okay. The other one is an aspect that is a difficult aspect called a quincunx. And that is an aspect with the South Node in Virgo. This is an exact aspect. Okay, so this is Pluto going retrograde at 5 degrees Aquarius, connecting exactly in a very challenging way. And this is beyond challenging because squares are challenging, oppositions are challenging. They want you to integrate. So it's like a challenge card is raised. Okay, it's saying like, listen, this is what was being called for. The South Node 5 degree Virgo with Aquarius at 5 degree in quincunx, it's asking for something a little bit deeper, okay? It's asking for something that it wants you to look at where things are absolutely not working, where things are so beyond working that it's just not even worth the time, the energy, the financial investment, any kind of resource investment to really, for you to even take a look at. Okay. That is what you need to look at, evaluate, reevaluate through a retrograde and clean up and clean out. You will have 5 months to do it, but because Mercury and the nodes move quickly, this context or this part of the connection between the Pluto retrograde and all the things that it's stepping into at the time that it's making this shift is best taken advantage of this week. Okay, these connections are going to move fast. The connection that remains is the one that is I've been talking about, and it's called the Minor Grand Trine. So the Minor Grand Trine, if you have heard other videos of mine previous to this one, you'll know that it's this connection, this beautiful thing that has just really come into full force as of, I think it was on the 25th when Uranus stepped into Gemini, but it started already before that, between Neptune in Aries, Pluto in Aquarius, and now Uranus in Gemini. It's making trine and sextile configuration known as a minor grand trine. It's like a grand trine, which is like the best configuration, one of the best that you can have on a chart, but it's minor because it's not full trines. It's a couple sextiles and a trine. Okay, so what is happening with this is that the Pluto retrograde is going to take the 5 degree Pluto in Aquarius, and it's going to start to bring it back towards the lesser, the lower degrees, right? 4, 3. And because Neptune is at, I believe right now, let me take a look. Neptune right now in Aries is at the 3rd degree, and Uranus is at 0 degrees. Pluto making its retrograde, it's going to be approaching closer, more intense, more activated aspect to these two planets. So it was moving already away from the connection. And now, because it's going to get closer to that 3 and 0 degree, it's going to go 5, 4, 3. Of course, these planets are also going to be moving, but Uranus is going to be moving a little faster. Neptune's going to stay there for a bit. But Pluto is going to be moving closer to these two. And so this magical triangle that we have that is really supportive for all the air signs and the fire signs, even the ones that it's making, the signs that it's making an opposition to, it's still supportive, it's still activating. It's going to feel really, really like a big flow of energy for you on the inside. Because now that one of these planets is moving retrograde, okay? Neptune is not retrograde. Uranus is not retrograde. Pluto, the component that is the, I want to destroy everything in order for you to create something new, component of this trine, it it wants you to, whatever this energy that is giving you, this magic for transformation, for shift, for bringing something that you want to bring into this world that you hadn't brought before. Okay, this is new stuff. Uranus energy, uh, destroy to create, Pluto, and ideal, fantasy, and dream come true, Neptune. Whatever this is, you are going to have to really bring it on the inside first, and then it's going to come out on the outside. Okay, so that's what it's asking. This is tremendous energy that is just endowing you with transformative powers, magical powers to shift, transform on the core, on the depth of whatever it is that is being activated with this. So you have to look at your chart to see where this is going to fall, what it's going to activate, what it's going to challenge. You're probably already feeling it. Okay, again, subconscious mind is involved. This is major shadow work season. So you have 5 months to do the shadow work in whatever area of this life this wants to play out. Okay, again, check the house. I will put the video by Wednesday for Pluto retrograde in the houses. And it wants to take that thing to zero. Again, tabula rasa, clean slate, zero. Ashes. Ashes to then fertilize whatever is worthy of your time and whatever is valuable for that particular project or that particular area of your life. And it will help you grow after that. Okay. This is the fertilizer for that. But first, you need to prep the fertilizer, which is create the ashes, which means burn the thing to the ground. That is the message. If it's not the thing that's going to be working, you will feel it. You will know it on the inside. Pluto will make sure that you see the signs to know that this is the thing that you need to get rid of. But if you look at your chart, you can easily see it as well. And of course, you can always book a reading with me so we can look at it and I can tell you exactly where and I can coach you through the transformation. And so compulsions, obsessions, the things that you're super obsessed about that really have no role anymore, maybe. Okay. Maybe never, maybe anymore, maybe not anymore, right? Anything that's taboo, anything that wants to control, where you want to control things and really control is not the thing that is needed. Maybe surrender is the thing that is needed. Or maybe something that's controlling you, whether it's an addiction to something, a cell phone, you're spending all your time on Instagram or something, and you're not really investing the time that you need to invest where it really matters. Those type of things. Breakdown of identity, breakdown of self-image, breakdown, especially if this falls in your first house. Oh my goodness, it's like a self-transformation, self-image, self-identity. We understand now that identity is sort of the thing that drives everything else. Identity drives action and behavior and expression. And so if you have some component of your self-image, how you see yourself, some component of your identity, your core self, that is not working for the thing that you get to become and turn into and want to have, and the goals you want to meet, and the dreams you want to ground and make a reality, well, then this 5 month period of tremendous shadow work for a magical transformation is the thing you need to dive deep into. And this is a dive deep into thing because Pluto doesn't do anything without depth. It's a depth event. It's a depth transformation within event. Take full advantage of it. Warn everybody because this sometimes does not look, it doesn't look how you would want it to look. Like, okay, let's go into looks. Today, on purpose, I decided to come here tabula rasa. I'm wearing absolutely not a lick of makeup, not even chapstick, nothing. You can see like my gray hair, my wisdom's coming out over here, which when my hair's down, you can't really see it because it's underneath the top of the hair. And this is, of course, my natural hair color. And I'm wearing black because I'm just like, okay, we have to burn it to the ground. But what happens later is you're going to bring you're going to fertilize the flower, the plant, the thing that really wants to come through, the true thing, right? But this is the thing. If we want to show up authentic in the era of Aquarius, in the Pluto Aquarian impetus that we're all feeling, that is the meeting ourselves with authenticity and showing up in the world super authentic, we have to have moments where we're just showing up exactly as we are. And the more that we can do that, the more people can really connect with you on the level that really is true for you. So, for example, if I were to always be, fully makeup and maybe dress up and the jewelry and the this and that, and really the full background and all this stuff, and maybe the AI this and all, that would really miss the point on the content, which is what needs to come through here, the energy that needs to come through here, which is the energy of transformation. The entire point of this whole channel is to use astrology and the tool that is coaching and any other tool that I would teach you for nervous system regulation, for subconscious reprogramming, for whatever it is that I use in my coaching practice, including astrology, so that you can grow more into who you really are. Because we are so conditioned and so driven away from that core nature that we are born with, that is our true design that we chose for this lifetime, by anything that is a societal imposition, a structure that is outdated, that's making us really fall into line, into something that maybe doesn't fit for us, maybe it doesn't ring true to us, but we think, and we're told by our parents and by other authority figures, that is the thing we have to fall in line with. And so my hope here, showing up like this, showing up for you as I am with this information that is information for transformation, is that you take on this energy, you take on this info, this opportunity, and leverage it for your growth towards more you. That is what is being asked by Pluto in Aquarius. And when you do the work in the next 5 months, that Pluto starts to go retrograde and wants to remove everything within you, you're going to have to dive deep into any limiting belief, any wound, any repressed emotion that is stopping you from being that authentic self. Because Pluto is doing this in the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius is a sign of authenticity. Sun in Aquarius here, so I know this push really well. And because the sun does not feel comfortable in Aquarius, it's the sign of the opposite sign that it actually rules. It's tough for us Aquarians to show up as Aquarians, but it is what is called for us. And in our older wisdom, we tend to really dive deep into how weird we show up. So here I am, just showing up as I am. And you can either love it or you can hate it. That's a very Pluto Scorpion thing. And my Scorpio suns, moons, and ascendants probably understand that. People either love you or hate you. And it doesn't matter because you're not here for that. What you are here for is to be authentically yourself. And what you're here for is to play the role that you chose to play in this planet at this time. This planet needs you. It needs you exactly as you are. And this Pluto in Aquarius retrograde 5-month period is going to show you who that person is. And just take on the challenge. Take on the challenge and do the work and really clear anything that wants to come up during a lunation, during a full moon, that wants to show up and say, listen, this feels really painful. This feels really uncomfortable. This feels like something that I don't really want to deal with anymore. I don't want to have to pretend to be A, B, and C. I don't want to have to do things that don't feel true to me, or that don't feel like they matter to me. This is a values question, isn't it? It doesn't feel like it's important to me. Fabulous. If it's not important to you, don't spend any single second on it anymore. That's part of your authenticity. And this is why we work a ton in coaching with your values and what you really, really want to focus your all your resources and especially your energy and your focus, your attention on. Okay. We're all different. We get to accept each other and our differences, and we get to honor ourselves in that different, unique being that we are. That is the shift and the hope and the direction and the push that Pluto and Aquarius wants to give you. And it starts with the breaking down of all the stuff that you aren't within, especially your subconscious mind, with this Pluto going retrograde in Aquarius for 5 months. Welcome to your deep shadow work. Welcome to your deep subconscious restructuring. If you want my help on it all, either through doing your chart or through doing a single session coaching session, we can work on all of it together because you don't have to do this alone. We can do it as a team, in partnership together, soul to soul. Okay. So I will be posting the video of Pluto in going retrograde by house to see where this falls in your house and you can see what it's going to be activating. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video. So much love.